coming back to your clinical examination, what kind of hair loss will be there?
In scleroderma, there are two types of hair loss, sir. Due to stress, there will be tenogen effluvium, and due to that sclerosis, there was a permanent cicatricial alopecia. Sir.
Yes.
There were two types of alopecia.
Yes, there's a chance of improvement after therapy. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing, what are all the signs that you see? Frontal forehead folds will be there. Difficulty in retracting the upper eyelid. What did you say that sign?
It is called as an Ingram sign, sir. There was difficulty in retraction of lower eyelid.
Yeah. Pinching of the nose and microstomia. You did not use that word. Microstomia and macroglassia, because it's a relative term. The tongue will never. Yeah. Apparently, macroglassia will be there. Another important point that you did not mention was the prominent teeth. You know, because of the widening of the periosteal area.
Periodontal membrane.
Periodontal membrane, then the teeth appear more prominent. So that's one feature that one has to make.
And there was a diffuse sclerosis, unable to close the mouth completely, sir. In that case, also we can see teeth prominently.
What is the cause of difficulty in deglutition?
Due to progressive sclerosis. Difficulty in degglutination is due to two types, sir. There may be a decrease in lower esophageal tone, sir, and there was a motility disorder in lower 2/3 of the esophagus, sir. And there was also decrease in gastric motility and gastric emptying time, sir, which manifests as a regurgitation or a difficulty in swallowing, which was initially present towards solids.
Reflex esophagitis is a common feature in systemic sclerosis.
Yes,
what is the cause?
Due to decrease in lower esophageal sphincter tone, sir.
Tone. So, is there a dilatation or constriction?
There was a dilatation, sir.
It is because of dilatation. That's very important. Most of the people, they answer as it because of the constriction. No, it is because of the
actually. Above that sphincter, there may be constrictions also, sir, due to esophageal spasm.
Okay. Now, how does its stomach look like in endoscopy?
It is called as a watermelon stomach, sir. Due to gastroenteral valvular ectasia, and the stomach looks small, and there will be fibrosis also present, sir.
And looks like
characteristically we called as watermelon stomachs.
Okay. Now, as far as cardiac involvement is concerned, what factors play a major role in cardiac involvement?
There will be before taking clinical.
What will be the pulse? What will be the pulse?
Actually,
here in this patient,
pulse was normal only, sir. In cardiac complications, systemic sclerosis is usually restrictive cardiomyopathy, sir, where systolic function is not affected, so that pulse is normal, sir. Only diastolic dysfunction.
How about the conduction defect? How about the conduction defect?
There may be tachyarrhythmias and AV blocks, sir.
AV blocks. So
there will be arrhythmias, sir,
which can be responsible for low pulse also sometimes. Now, is there any other factor that influences the circulation?
There will be pericarditis.
What is the late complication of cardiac involvement?
There will be pericardial fibrosis, sir.
Yes, constrictive pericarditis.
Yeah,
what will be the outcome of constrictive pericarditis?
Constrictive pericarditis will lead to the diastolic dysfunction, sir, which is preserved ejection fraction heart failures.
Okay. Now,
ejection fraction is normal.
Yes, you said it is Raynaud's phenomenon. What is the difference? What do you mean? What is the difference between Raynaud's disease and phenomenon?
Raynaud's disease which is called as a primary, which has no obvious cause, which is usually seen in females of age less than 25 years, sir. And there was no recurrences. It usually, when it occurs, it usually relapses after, usually remission after 2 years, sir. And there was there was normal nail capillaroscopy. In Raynaud's phenomena, otherwise called as secondary Raynaud's disease, there will be involvement of nail capillaroscopy while dilatation.
What are the conditions you see? What are the conditions you see Raynaud's phenomenon?
Raynaud's phenomena, we can classify them into infection, inflammation, and exposure, sir. In exposures, we consider the drugs, different drugs like bromocriptine, bleomycin, antihypertensives like methyl ergotamine.
Can it occur unilaterally?
Yes, sir. There will be a chance. In that case, we have to rule out atherosclerosis, thoracic outlet syndromes.
So yes, thoracic outlet syndrome, like Scalini syndrome, and something else is there.
There will be Takasayo arthritis also present.
What is the clavicle? Some Scalini syndrome, cervical
cervical rib, sir. Cervical rib.
Cervical rib, and then Scalini syndrome. These two also can cause a Raynaud's phenomenon like picture. Okay, what is calcinosis cutis?
Calcinosis cutis, it is a type of dystrophic calcification, sir, with normal calcium levels in the body. But in brawny prominences, there was a chalky white discharge material coming out from the skin, sir. It is usually seen in limited systemic sclerosis when compared to diffuse systemic sclerosis.
You given an option, which is better to have?
Limited, both have some difficulties, sir. When you consider limited systemic sclerosis, also lung involvement is more in limited systemic sclerosis.
No. I'm not talking about limited. I'm talking about generalized systemic sclerosis and calcinosis cutis, CREST syndrome.
CREST syndrome has better prognosis, sir.
Yes, it responds very well to sometimes steroid therapy. Okay. So all other students, please follow, because the topic is quite big. He's very well prepared. So straight away, I'm asking questions only to highlight the points which you are supposed to read. So this is a very, very important topic in the sense that it is almost 20% of your clinical examination. So all localized forms, morphia, disseminated morphia, gutted morphia, all these things, the cases can be kept. Okay. This is so only Sumant will answer all the questions. Okay. So now coming back to do you want to examine anything else in the hands?
In the hands, we have to rule out digital ischemia and the scars, sir.
Oh, that is there. You will do Dopplers and all that. Is there anything clinical examination? What is periangular telangiectasia?
Yes, sir. Periangular, you can view with the help of dermoscope, sir. It will tell the prognosis of cardiac involvement and nephrotoxicity.
Yes, you can predict the renal involvement. Now, what are the changes you see in a severe form of systemic sclerosis?
Where, sir? In a
severe form of systemic sclerosis, what do you see?
There will be capillary dropouts, sir. There will be capillary dropouts and newer angiogenesis. Newer angiogenesis will be present.
Okay. So periangular telangiectasia is one of the hallmarks of, to suspect systemic involvement in most of the connective tissue disorders, dermatomyositis, SLE and all that. Okay, next question. What else? How do you assess the activity of the disease?
Activity of disease is assessed by the two scores, sir. There was a modified Teethering score and a modified Rodman score, sir. MRSS is usually used, sir. It was assessed in 17 sites: face, neck, forearm, arm, and hands and fingers.
Rodman score everyone should read. Now, what are the merits and demerits of Rodman score?
Actually, it assesses only the skin function, sir. It does not assess the internal activity.
And individual variation can be there. Individual variation, yes, because you may assess in one way, I may assess in another way, so it cannot be consistent. Yes. So how else you want to assess the activity of the disease?
There will be Teethering score will be there, sir.
What is
mild grade, mild, moderate, and severe.
How do you assess? Now you want now in this patient.
The modified Modified Rodman score is up to 51, sir. Mild up to 17 and 17 to 36 and more than 36.
That's okay. That's okay. You want to start treatment. What do you start?
Yes,
starting,
sir.
I always tell students.
In this case, there was a lung involvement is present, sir. So I can definitely avoid methotrexate and I will start cyclophosphamide, and if better, I will add mycophenolate mofetil in case. In this
so
case.
why not methotrexate here?
Methotrexate is a major cause for pulmonary fibrosis, and it is contraindicated in pulmonary fibrosis.
What are the Euler's? No. Let's not. Don't continue. What are Euler's recommendations? Latest Euler's recommendations. What is Euler?
European League Against Rheumatism.
European League for rheumatoid diseases.
Against like rheumatism. Actually, they described by using that modified Rodman score only, sir. If it is less than 17, use the first line methotrexate, second line mycophenolate mofetil. With 17 to 36, use both methotrexate and mycophenolate. If a score is more, don't use methotrexate. Just start with mycophenolate mofetil. Add second line drugs like cyclophosphamide. These are the latest 2019 guidelines.
Oh, I know now because I gave this lecture 4 years back. Okay, so yes, this is the information.
If the score is more, they were saying that don't go towards the methotrexate. Try with mycophenolate mofetil and cyclophosphamide. There was obvious that there will be lung involvement if the score is more.
Okay. No. That is, we'll come back to first. How do you manage Raynaud's phenomenon?
Raynaud's phenomena is managed with the help of general measures and we can give pharmacological drugs. General measures by rewarming every 4th hourly for 4 minutes in warm water and wearing protective gloves and staying away from the cold environment. Coming to the pharmacological drugs, we can start with calcium channel blockers like nifedipine or angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors like losar.
How much dose?
Nifedipine is available in 2 forms, 10 mg and 20 mg. We can prefer 10 mg TID. If there was no recurrences, we can taper it to BD and OD dose.
Okay. Anything else you want to give?
We can even give phosphatidylase enzyme 5 inhibitors like sildenafil, taldefil. And some people will even give aspirin and clopidogrel also. Okay. Antiplatelet drugs also can be.
No. You must always see in examination, how do you manage is the question from the examiner. I have seen people failing in this. See, you must always answer, all should listen to this. See, sir, this is a case of systemic involvement. I will admit the patient. I will take a complete history, look at each and every organ that is involved and assess. I will do, these are all the investigations from top to bottom. I want to do all these investigations. Now, I want to assess the activity of the disease. By how do you assess the Rodman score? Sometimes may not be. Absolutely. Correct. So another important thing is you have to do a biopsy. When you do a biopsy, if there is cellular infiltrate, it is an active disease in the dermis. If there is a hyalinized material, then it is a burnt out case almost it is not that active. So your case, definitely it will show activity. So now I know people who said that I will put the patient on steroid. So without talking all this, he will say he said steroid and lost the examination. Without talking all this, he said low molecular weight dextran and lost the examination. Because the umpteen number of maneuvers are there. Everyone claimed that their style is good. Colchicine, someone says mycophenolate mofetil, someone says biologicals. So see, there's no limit for this because beating around the bush, we don't have a proper guidelines. So whenever you talk about guidelines, you must talk with respect to this particular case. So I will do all these and now I plan to treatment in this way. You have to tell that. That's one thing. Second thing, for which you have to assess the activity of the disease. If the disease is inactive, then you just protect the patient, advise some physiotherapy, respiratory exercises, some pranayama, yoga, etc., and then look after the Raynaud's phenomenon, and then feet, eyes, and everything. That's it. So otherwise, so it is the assessment of activity is very important, whether you have to tackle the immunological system or not. So as you said, the first option is methotrexate, and then in Indian style, we have our own Indian style. We give cyclophosphamide or we give dexamethasone pulse therapy. See, dexamethasone pulse therapy also is time tested and then gave very good results.
Yes,
so
recently, guidelines saying that don't give steroids because it was leading to that renal crisis, sir, acute renal crisis.
Yes, you are very correct. It gives it leads to renal crisis, and it can be counterproductive. But there are reports. See, you can speak on both sides. There are reports. If the disease is active, for immediate amelioration of manifestations, you must put the patient on a bare minimum immunosuppressive dose, that is about 1 milligram per kilo body weight or 0.5 milligrams per kilo body weight. So it is controversy. I know it produces renal problems and renal hypertension and all these complications. Okay, so but determining the activity of the disease is very, very important. How means Rodnan score and biopsy. I don't know whether it's written, biopsy is written anywhere or not. I have been reading these so many articles, but somewhere I read biopsy will definitely help, and even common sense says that.
Sir, even auto antibodies will help in diagnosis and prognosis also, sir.
Prognosis of the very correct, very correct, very correct. Now, what are the antibodies that you see in systemic sclerosis? Various types.
There are 3 types of antibodies seen in systemic sclerosis, sir. In limited systemic sclerosis, anti-centromere antibody, where was antibody towards the center kinetochore of a metaphase chromosome. Another antibody is SCL70, otherwise called as an anti-topoisomerase autoantibody, which is present in diffuse systemic sclerosis. Whenever there was a presence of this...
in CREST, is there any specific?
In CREST, there was presence of anti-centromere antibody.
No. So anything else you want to talk? I have a few questions. If an unmarried girl gets, can she get married?
Yes, systemic sclerosis per se, it has no effect on pregnancy, sir.
Pregnancy.
It has no effect on pregnancy, sir. Only in the 3rd trimester, there will be renal failure. We have to carefully control the disease and then advise her to marry.
But whatever may be, but you did not answer my point. A systemic sclerosis woman asks you, can I get married? I faced this situation. I want to get married, doctor. Can I get married?
Yes, sir, she can marry.
She can marry, but the thing is, her body appearance and all those things they're so ugly. If she marries, that it will be further problem. So she must be acceptable to the man. Number 1. Number 2. Conceiving is also not that easy as in a normal, healthy individual. Number 3 is a management, as you said, in the trimester. So, by and
actually, we will give methotrexate also. That will also fetotoxic.
So,
we have to consider in that case as
putting everything together, in my personal opinion, it is my personal opinion, it may be a negative approach, but it gives a real comfort to the patient in an overall basis. I don't encourage patients to get married. Now, suppose they develop a burn, can you graft?
No.
Yes. We can graft, but that skin will turn into sclerosis, sir. It was called as reversal sclerosis. It is phenomenal. There was phenomenal.
My personal experience is hot water fell on the thigh of a systemic sclerosis woman, and then I told them let it get healed slowly. The ulcers, it took its own time, but they grafted. Once they grafted, one ulcer became 2 ulcers. Both did not heal. So these are the things that we have to keep in mind. Now you have to correct the occupation. Now, what is the diet that you prescribed?
As well, we can mostly prefer liquid diet, sir. And
what is the bowel? How will be the bowels? How will be the bowels?
There was a decrease in
motility.
There was decrease in motility. Use of
yes, decrease in motility of the small intestine. Then what happens?
Initially there was constipation, sir. Then it was followed by the overflowed diarrhea.
What are the causes of diarrhea in systemic sclerosis?
One is dysmotility disorders, and another thing is diverticulosis present over.
Diverticulosis of the transverse colon.
Transverse colon, inferior part of transverse colon.
Yeah, very good, very good.
And there was obvious bacterial growth also.
Wow. Now, what are overlap syndromes?
In overlap syndromes, we can consider as mixed connective tissue diseases or undefined diseases or overlap syndromes, sir. In mixed,
which is good. Which is good? Systemic sclerosis
mixed connective tissue disease, good, sir. It was only present with Raynaud phenomenon, sir.
Very good, very good. What is the immunological change that you see in mixed connective tissue disease?
Characteristically, we can find UNRNP antibodies.
Anti-ribonuclease antibodies or UNR?
RNP.
URNIP. What I already forgot.
UNRNP. U1-ribonuclease.
Yeah, my brain is disuse atrophy, slowly setting in disuse atrophy. Not using brain. So anything else? Anything else? Broadly, you covered most of the. It's very good that you are thorough with your knowledge and everything. You can improve on that. So many things are there. Treatment schedules, pulse therapy, merits and demerits, and then only single pulse. That is only dexamethasone or dexamethasone with cyclophosphamide. All studies are there. All these are Indian studies. And we, in most of the institutes in India, follow the dexamethasone pulse therapy. Okay. But colchicine and all, the low molecular weight
these are
all.
We can use, these are under the group of anti-fibrotic agents.
But you see, obsolete now. Obsolete.
Depenicillamine.
Depenicillamine and all those things. Okay.